I keep this stuff back for my more discerning intents. Appreciate your custom.
Guys, no way. Supply drops. They're in Black Ops 4. Yay. I'm so happy. What else could I have spent my money on, you know? It just never ceases to amaze me. How out of touch that Treyarch and Activision actually are. I don't know, you know, what got into them, where they're like, you know what, bring them back. But, they did it, folks. Supply drops are back in Black Ops 4. You guys knew it was coming. You guys knew I was gonna make a video about it, and, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I held back a little bit because I didn't know too much about them. Especially when they first came out, I was like, I don't know too much about them. I can't sit here and act like I don't like the system if I don't really know enough about it to make a video. So I waited a few days, you know, played 3.5 hours worth of COD to get one. Actually, I don't even think I have one as of the making of this video yet. Boy, oh boy, has the community spoken, okay? Thankfully, the community has spoken. And the thing that I don't get is there is nothing so universally hated in the COD franchise as exo boosting and supply drops, yet they actually decided to bring supply drops back. So, my problems with supply drops can be boiled down to a couple different things. Number one, this system is just as bad, if not worse, than Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, you could basically get all the DLC weapons were locked behind supply drops, and they were super overpowered, so essentially the game was pay to win unless you were extremely lucky or played all day. Well, as of right now, cosmetic only in supply drops here in Black Ops 4, but how many times have we heard that, folks? How many times have they said cosmetic only? Black Ops 3? Modern Warfare Remastered? You know, World War II? And to be fair, in Modern Warfare Remastered, I don't think you could actually get the actual guns. You could get, like, the melee weapons and stuff, you know, but those are still weapons at the end of the day. I didn't have as much of a problem with Modern Warfare Remastered system. I think that's probably the best system we've had when it comes to supply drops and stuff like that, but between that and World War II, I would say, but yeah, in Black Ops 4, it's a fucking nightmare, okay? So, the fun of Black Ops 4 is that it takes you, like, 4 hours to get one of these goddamn things. So, the earn rate is really like half of the tier progression, if not slower. It's ridiculously slow. Back in Black Ops 3, you would get enough crypto keys for a supply drop after like 3 matches of TDM. But yeah, it's like 14 to 15 matches of TDM in this game, and then maybe other matches too. So it's ridiculous. The earn rate in this game is completely broken, and it needs to be fixed, because it's ridiculously slow. And the awesome thing about it, okay, is that back in Black Ops 3, at least you had 3 items that you got, right? You got 3 items in your supply drops that you got for free. And you got, I think, yeah, you got 3 when you bought them too, but the great thing about the supply drops here in BO4 is if you just play and you earn these cases, as they're called, you only get 1 item. Several hours of gameplay, and you'll only get 1 item out of these cases. You don't get 3, you get 1. But hey, if you buy the drops, you get 3 items. You know, that doesn't incentivize people to buy them at all, right? So, the earn rate is completely destroyed. On top of that, there's duplicates, okay? It's not even dupe protected. That's the good thing about games. Even Apex Legends, a free-to-play game, has dupe protected loot boxes. Black Ops 4 couldn't do that. A $60 AAA video game couldn't make a dupe-protected loot box system. So you can play for like 3 hours. You know, you get 3 or 4 tiers or whatever the earn rate is, and then you get your case, you open up your 1 item, and it can be a duplicate sticker, which basically makes the game worthless to grind. There's no reason to go for these reserves. You're going to get 1 item, and it's not dupe protected, so unless you literally sit around and play all day, you know, you're not getting shit like the blackout characters that they locked behind the supply drops and stuff that they said they weren't going to do. The stuff that people want, you know, those blackout characters, the awesome camos, you know, all that stuff, you basically have to buy supply drops to get that shit, because nobody with any form of a life has enough time to actually, like, get all the shit that they want, unless they're severely deprioritizing other aspects of their life. And the reason that is because they decided, instead of going, you know how in World War II, if you got a camo, you got it for like assault rifles? No, they're not doing that. They go with the BO3 system. So instead of, you know, actually unlocking camos for every weapon in a category, which is something that was nice because, you know, once you got that camo, you could use it pretty much universally on those weapons in that category. You now basically have to just pray to God that you get all the camos that you want for all the guns you play with. So I can get a new camo for the Maddox. Yeah, and then I have to wait and hope that I can get it for the SOG, or hope that I can get it for the Swordfish, or hope that I can get it for the Vapor, because the system is completely fucking broken. It's not even broken. People say, oh, it's a broken system, oh, it's a broken system. It's not broken, folks. It's purposely like that, to get you to buy supply drops. They didn't make the earn rate so low that it's impossible for the average player to get everything they want by the time that the new operation comes along. That wasn't an accident. It's not an accident that the blackout characters everyone likes, where you can play as like a zombie and stuff, are locked behind the supply drops like they said they weren't gonna do. That wasn't a mistake, okay? It's not a mistake that they made it to where you have to unlock every camo for every weapon in the game. That way they could basically convolute and dilute the amount of content in the supply drops to make it harder for you to get the things that you want, so you buy more drops. That wasn't a mistake, folks. These are all intentional moves that Treyarch has made in order to literally make their supply drop system as provocative, predatory, and just money-making machinery that it can be. I don't even know what to call it, dude. It's just garbage. I've never seen so much universal disdain for an update. You know, they did a lot of great things in this update. They brought a lot of really cool content to the game. The new DLC maps are good. The new weapons in the contraband stream are pretty cool. You know, there are some pretty nice looking cosmetics. Some of the camos and stuff, like the Party Rock camo in the store and the Benjamin's camo, I bought both because they're two of my favorite camos from BO2. So I have no problem spending money in the game. I have said this on multiple occasions. I am more than willing to buy camos outright, but what I'm not about to sit here and do is buy supply drops out the yin-yang. That way I can get all the camos I want for all the guns I get, or the guns that I use. I'm not going to sit here and just spend up all my money on a $60 game, may I add you, so I can get blackout characters that you said wouldn't be locked behind a paywall. And that's what's really funny about this whole update, okay? You know, the trailer was full of content that's in these reserves only. They made sure to promote that content. It was real nice looking and everything. But they don't tell you that the supply drops in the game. That's what's funny about that update. You know, they were all hyped about the new maps, the new modes, the multiplayer tuning, but then they snuck in the fact that there was going to be supply drops. They weren't very open about that. You didn't see that in the trailer, you know, big bold letters, supply drops now available. You didn't see that happen, and for a good reason, because the truth is the folks over at Treyarch and Activision, they know 100% that the community absolutely hates the supply drop systems. But they also know that people will buy them. They also know that there's people out there who will spend hundreds of dollars on these goddamn things. And I was just shocked, because you would think after Battlefront 2 and the controversy and the legality of these things pretty much up in air across the world, you know? And with games like Fortnite coming out and basically replacing the loot box system with better microtransaction systems, you would think that they would adapt. But no, they of course had to go back to their old ways, okay? And everyone always says, oh, it's all Activision. They're the only ones involved in this, okay? And I agree, it's mostly Activision pushing this. And they force a lot of the coercion from these studios, and they force them to put a lot of microtransactions in the game and stuff. And of course, Activision, really, they're the ones who have pushed this whole loot box thing in the first place. You know, they're gonna milk everything out that they can, but this has only made me believe more that the studios individually have they have a little bit of authority. Okay, I used to think that Activision was solely behind this, because it's not a coincidence to me that when you look at the supply drop systems, Treyarch just has the most intrusive, they have the most unfair, and they have the ones that actually almost make you spend money if you really want all the content that it has to offer. I don't find a coincidence to that. You know, you look back at all these supply drop systems. Infinite Warfare supply drop system, as bad of a game as I think that was a lot better than Black Ops 3's. Modern Warfare Remastered was 100% okay. You know, I had no problem with supply drops in that game, because you could easily earn all the content in that game simply by playing a decent amount. Maybe more than what the average player, to get pretty much everything, more than the average player would, but you know, it incentivized you a little bit, you know? World War II system was pretty good. I mean, not only could you get the content in the drops, you know, they had challenges and contracts for it. They gave you supply drops virtually for nothing if you just took the special orders. You got login bonuses. You got extra credits for login bonuses. They gave you drops and stuff from here and there. You know, was completely fine with the stuff like that. Then you come to Black Ops 4, and then another thing that really just drives me up the wall is past tier 100 you used to get these reserves or these cases for every single level. So once you hit 100, basically you grind it out and you would get these items and stuff that you weren't locked in to get just by playing through the pass. So, you know, the content that was in the operation but wasn't directly in the pass, you could still get that stuff through these reserves, and people would grind out a couple hundred levels at some points. But with this new update and with these supply drops, you don't have that option anymore. So once you hit level 100, you can keep going, you can go past that, but you're doing it for no reason. There is no more cases. You don't get supply drops by advancing past level 100, which completely kills the grind. You know, I gotta agree with Prestige, because I watched his video and he said that it killed the grind for him. I gotta agree with that. What's the point in playing past level 100 in the operation if you can't get shit from it? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't really make sense. So even though they've done a lot of great stuff in this update, unfortunately, that is kind of being overshadowed by the fact that this bullshit is back in the game. Treyarch, you need to bring the reserves back past tier 100 and let people actually earn these things, because right now what you're doing is completely wrong, okay? First off, you're completely overstepping the boundary, and at this point you're basically abusing your consumers, okay? Because people who want this stuff that bad, they're not going to play enough. They're not going to play 4 hours a day to get one item, okay? And just get lucky every single time, even though that there's like hundreds of just emotes, calling cards, stickers, emblems, filler camo for every single gun, outfits for all the characters. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. And you know that. So allow people past tier 100 to earn these drops again. You know, give them a reason to play the game. Because once people hit tier 100, which it's going to happen sooner or later, people are going to be done, man. That's it right there. They have no reason to play past that. Number 2, you need to fix the earn rate on top of that. So people who aren't level 100 like myself, because there's already people who've bought their way to level 100, which is $100, may I add you. And then now they have to basically buy supply drops, unless they want to play 5 hours a day to get just one item. You know what I'm saying? So fix that earn rate. That way people actually have a reason to want to play. Or just take the whole system out of the game entirely. Because this isn't what the community asked for. We were all pretty excited, I would say, about the contraband stream coming to COD and the release of supply drops as a system. That was a pretty heralded moment for the franchise. The last operation was pretty decent, you know? You got everything basically by playing, and what you didn't get you could grind out in reserves, or you could just buy it outright in the shop if that was your thing. Even though it was kind of just all bullshit, but yeah, you know? But they've completely reverted their progress with this update, and it's insane. Just do right by your community, because you're not Apex. You don't get that pass. You're a $60 AAA game with a $50 DLC pass, so $110, in which you can buy 100 tiers every 60 to 90 days, so another $100, but there's 6 operations, so, you know, $600, plus that $110, $710, plus God knows how many microtransactions directly purchasable through the store. And what's funny is all of this milking of this game, all of these microtransactions and whatnot, they were all there before basic functions of the game like combat records, leaderboards, league play, things like that. So, you know, I like Black Ops 4. It's a good game. And it's fun when there's new content to play with, and when you got some buddies to play with. It's a fun COD game. But the amount of bullshit that the community's having to deal with right now is inexcusable from a company like Treyarch. Do right by your community, please. I mean, you know what we want. There's no way you don't. You've been told God knows how many times. Because if you don't fix it, I'm sorry to tell you, Apex Legends is looking pretty scary for you right now. Okay? Blackout's not doing like it was. You guys have all the reasons in the world to start listening. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at SubToptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get live notifications of all my brand new content. And until my next video here on the gaming channel, guys, this is Optimus, buying thousands of dollars in supply drops, all supply drops, yay, and signing out.